politics, and this is very important for you to realize. You may have heard, this war, certainly I was taken back when I found out that I belonged to a party for the last 30 years, have been an activist in this party, only to find out that we've had a war against women during this time. Complete shock to me, and in fact so much so that I felt like when that first question went to Mitt Romney during one of those debates, where George Stephanopoulos decided to ask him about whether he would outlaw contraception, thinks the states have a right. I had the exact same reaction he did. What? But why are you asking this? Is there somebody trying to outlaw contraception? But it didn't matter to Stephanopoulos. He just kept hammering it like 3 or 4 times in a row there, trying to get the governor to say something that could be used against him later. But clearly, this is not an issue that I have heard anything about until George Stephanopoulos. 30 years in politics, no woman, either party, and I've had a lot of debates with the left, has ever suggested that we were going to take away their contraception rights. But this year, we're going to do it. It's all very nice to know this. The key here, though, and this is what's important as I kind of give you a few minutes to discuss this war on women, is it doesn't matter in politics if it's real, if it's true. All that matters is that there's a perception that it's true. That's what we deal with in the world of politics, it's a perception. Because if the voter perceives that this particular candidate is against her, and wants to hold them up, wants to undermine, wants to take their freedoms and their rights, they're not going to vote for that person. If they want to throw them back to some period of time where women did not have these rights, they're going to be hesitant. And it doesn't matter to them whether it's true or false. What matters is that they can sell this to enough women. And that's where we are today. So how do you do that? And I'm just going to give you a little example of what's happened over the years so you get a taste of what's going to happen in the next few months. When they changed the law, when the Supreme Court ruled that, or even before that, when we had the big debates, and ever since, we were pro-life if you're against abortion. We're pro-life. Well, in the early days, they were for abortion. They were pro-abortion. Well, after a few years, they were making a lot of ground away here because who is for abortion? They realized this is a negative. And so they changed the words to be pro-choice. Because choice, that's an honorable thing to be for. It's choice. Women should have a choice. And so they managed to get a higher road than they were on. We were pro-life, which is obviously a positive. When they went and started talking about their entire movement as pro-choice, they picked up enormously. Because people started saying that was something that I would be for too. I'm for choice for women. And they were able to sell it that way. Very, very successful. And so words are key. Words are very key. There's no mistake that the words war on women were thrown out there deliberately. They had told, they had decided. But I think their mistake was they took it too far. The Democrats took it a little too far. And that's the second point when you're dealing with perceptions. It's the spin of politics. You take a kernel of truth or some kind of a fact and you spin it enough so you make a case. And the case comes out at the end. It can be completely invalid, but it doesn't matter. You've got that kernel that you can keep going back to that's true. And so take, for instance, if you go too far, it fails. The argument there, and we've seen it, is, and James Carville made that point earlier, he and his team, but the Obama campaign ignored it. They said early on, look, you guys are out there, said James Carville in a memo some months ago, you're out there saying that the economy is turned around and it's going well. Well, that's not going to work. Do not go there. Well, they ignored it. And we heard last week that the private sector is just fine. And everybody says, fine, what? And I mean, even Democrats were bailing off that shit. That, whoa, it's not fine, by the way. And here's the president says, why did he say that? Because his campaign was going to try to sell, hey, 4 million new jobs in the last X number of months or years, that things are moving in the right direction, and pull a few facts and then spin it that things are on the right track. Don't throw anything off now. Things are moving in the right track, and things are going to improve. But the problem is, more people have lost jobs, lost homes, and fallen into poverty during the 3.5 years the man's been president. That it's hard to convince people things are okay. Gas prices are shooting up. Everyone is having, kids are coming home. Let me tell you, as somebody, a mother, that's not a right direction when kids are moving back home, especially when they have children. This is a week of children, no more, all right. And And so he sends this message out there, and they back it up with the facts. And I'm debating out there, and I'm constantly hearing from their surrogates, 4 million new jobs, 4 million new jobs. And I'm thinking, 23 million unemployed people. What is this 4 million? You know, but they stick to it, trying to say it's turning around. You know, but they overplayed their hand when it came to the economy, and now they're backtracking. And because you know, you can't convince people of something that they know every single day is not the case. They're worried about their job, and they're worried about the fact that some loved one has no job, and they've been looking for 16 months, and there's little hope. They're terrified of their own companies might lose contracts, and they'll be out of a job. Whatever it is, people are nervous in the country, and you cannot tell them, oh, by the way, everything's fine, you can relax, because they're not relaxing. Okay, they're not. So that's when you overplay a message. So you have both those things. Words are very important.